This is for a Lincoln LS. It's a 2003 with V8 motor. This is how to clean the fuel injectors. If you need to buy these things, they're kind of expensive. I think it's $35 for the reman and $50 to $60 for the regular ones without the core deposit. That's a Rock Auto, so you could pay more than that. Now, I'm doing it this way because I had to take all this stuff apart anyways. But this is not the easiest way to do it. Normally I just like to maintain the fuel injectors with some stuff that I put in the fuel system. Keeps it pretty clear. I haven't had any problems with it. This is a car I bought. I don't know the history on it. And I'm just checking all the fuel injectors to make sure everything's good before I put it back together. I've already done 4 of them over there, and 2 of those out of the 4 would not even spray fuel. These things kind of vibrate when you hook them up to power, and 2 of them wouldn't do anything. I had to spray some brake cleaner in there first for a few minutes, and then that loosened it up, and then put it on the unit here that pulses them. And once I did that, after a couple minutes, they would work, and then would spray fuel. I use this B12 chem tool, pretty cheap stuff, like $5, $4 a can like that. That's at any parts store. And I'm using brake clean if there's a big problem, if the thing isn't working. And I'm using this little 12-volt battery here. It's out of a, these are for not model airplanes, but you know, the small ones that you fly around. It's 12 volts, so it runs this thing. This is, I forget, all sun, something like that. I just sent away to China, got this for like $10 or something like that, really cheap. And it works fine. I just connected up. I got a aftermarket connector here for electrical. You can get them at junkyards, but it wasn't worth going to a junkyard, and you know, because they may not even have it. So that was like $11 at AutoZone. No big deal. And what I use is these tubeless tire valves. These are made out of rubber. And I got this idea from 65 Ford. He had it on his website. And you put the injector in here, this part. It's a real tight fit initially, but once you do like 4, 5, 6 of them, it loosens up a little bit. And then I just took the tube, drilled out a 1/16 hole here in this cap. Oops. Put that on there. That's a real tight fit, and that did not ever leak there. The other stuff, even though this is really tight right here, I can't believe it, but when these things wouldn't work, there was a buildup of pressure in there, and it actually blew the injector right off of here. And I got some stuff in my eyes. So I had to do a little eye wash stuff. So really, if you're going to do this, it's a good idea to get one of these goggles to put over your glasses, because I did have glasses on. Still got me. And then I take this real sticky masonry tape here and tape up all the connections. Even after I put the injector on here, I tape that each time. So initially you got these little clips, these metal clips on here. And you just get under there with a screwdriver, pop these right off. It's hard to do this with one hand. And these things are in there really tight, suction or dirt or whatever. So I found it's better to take a little WD-40, squirt it in there, let it sit a minute or two, rotate it, and then it pops right out. But really I couldn't even budge it. Taking a pair of channel locks, hook it on here, trying to pull it, did not want to come out. Same thing inside the manifold. Those things are really stuck in there, plus there's a lot of caked on dirt. So I'll go through the process of showing you the actual test and how they spray. These things are all solid at the bottom. There's no like 3 or 4 holes. It's just a solid piece, and it vibrates and comes up and down, sprays fuel. But here's why you don't want to actually do this, because right here, that's where the fuel injectors go. And as you can see, it's really clean now because I had this whole manifold off and took it and pried all the grease out of there. But every one of these holes had caked on grease. And if you're going to try to do that with this thing still attached, it's going to be hard not to drop stuff down inside. And these come off as a unit, because these go all the way through this part here. And then on the bottom side is how you take this off. So you just take them off as a unit, and that way you don't have to get new seals or disrupt this seal here. Here's your fuel line right here, and this has a spring in it just like the AC lines do. You take that release tool from this side, push it up inside, and then that just pops right out with some pulling, a little bit of pulling. On the back side here is electrical, some kind of electrical connector. Boy, it's hard to keep that thing where the camera doesn't seem to follow where it's actually showing up. It just plugs right in. You unplug that, take off your fuel line, and I just left this connected here because this did not want to come apart either. So I'll just do the test and that'll be about it. Okay, I'm ready to test, or not test it, but clean it. This is all hooked up here. You can see I got dairy connection taped right here, just to make sure it doesn't pop. But it's really pretty safe as long as you put it on this continuous mode, which is number 4. Then I'll pulse it, get it going first, and then I'll just squirt it. Give little squirts. That way the pressure doesn't build up in here. We'll see how it works. Just giving it a real quick little squirt. Try to give it a good cleaning just to make sure. And after I'm done, I unhook this, stops the testing, and then take this off of here. The other thing you want to do too is get yourself an ohm meter and test all of these to make sure that the resistance is pretty equal, because that could be an indicator of a bad injector. And these are all testing at 12.4 to 12.5 ohms, somewhere in there. And I think that's about it. I don't recommend this method, but if you're going to take this apart and do it. This is how to clean them, or you could do it individually if you have to, if you have a bad one. But the best way to do it is just to maintain it with stuff in your tank, or get one of those, they have a system like a canister where you fill it full of stuff and hook it right into the fuel line. You disconnect the fuel line, hook it in there and pressurize it, and then you run it through. But they're like anywhere from $100 to $300. And I don't have one of those yet, but someday I probably will. Alright, good luck with it if you try it.